Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and I am a licensed hairstylist and makeup artist. So today we're going to talk about how to be a great hairstylist. So if you are a newbie hairstylist or wanting to go to cosmetology school, this is just a list that I have found is really important in the core of becoming a really great hairstylist. So if you want to know how to become one, then keep watching. First things first is know your shit. When you're in school or when you're out of school or if you're in an apprenticeship is to learn everything there is to know about hair and color and cuts, because that stuff will be essential in your day-to-day. It is something that you're going to be doing constantly and you have to just know how to do it. I mean, that's the most obvious thing, but it's really important. And I'm not just saying just like, yeah, I know how to cut hair and I know how to put a base color on and I know how to foil, but do you know why you are foiling it that way? Like, are you doing a chunky weave? Are you doing a baby light? Are you root shadowing? Are you smudging? Are you taking someone from a level 10 to a level 5? Do you know what cancels out brassy orange colors? Things like that that really make a difference in someone being just a decent hairstylist to being a really great one. Number 2, be confident. So once you know your shit and the why, it's easier to be confident because you will already know the foundation on how to do things. So you have to look confident, you have to feel confident, you know, dressing up nicely, it's wearing your hair a certain way. Maybe you don't have to wear a full face of makeup and maybe you don't have to do your hair every day, but at least looking put together can make you feel a lot more confident in itself, and then it'll just make your day and your work look so much better. Number 3, work in customer service. A lot of times, a lot of hairstylists go to cosmetology school right after high school, or they go even during high school. They can take classes while they're in school and be licensed when they graduate, and that's like the first job they ever have. And a lot of the industry is very independent. A lot of hairstylists booth rent or they're commissioned, but you're pretty much on your own behind the chair if you're not assisting. I definitely think customer service plays a big part on being a really great hairstylist. I think that even before, or even if you are working in a salon, work front desk for a little bit. At my school, they had us work the front desk sometimes. They would take you off the floor and they would have you, you know, answer the phone. They would have you book clients, because you get to see that part of it as well. And a lot of different scenarios that can come up in the real world. So if you didn't have that experience in cosmetology school, then it's something that you can do, you know, if you're working in a salon, maybe helping out with the front desk, or getting a job at a restaurant as a waitress or a host, or working retail, just somewhere where you're customer facing, where you're going to be dealing with all kinds of people and all kinds of scenarios and situations. And I think that's going to better prepare you for whoever sits in your chair. And with hair, it's very personal. People are very attached to their hair. If you've ever gotten your hair cut or colored, you know how it feels when something doesn't go right or when someone doesn't listen to you. So I think working in industries that are very customer focused first can help you better prepare for being a really great hairstylist behind the chair, because you will be able to explain to them completely how things are done and why, or why we didn't get to where they wanted. Or you can de-escalate situations that may come across and really handle them so that they don't get out of hand. So I think definitely working in some kind of customer service before can really help you. The client is there to feel really good, and if you're not making, you can be like the best hairstylist in the world, but if you're not giving them good customer service, they're probably not going to come back. And I've heard and I've seen where clients, they go to a hairstylist and even though she's not the best, like, you know, maybe she messes up every once in a while, but because she's a good person and she gets along with the client, they keep coming to her. So it's really, customer service is super important. Number 4, never stop learning. One of the things I love about the beauty industry is that it's ever changing. It's constantly growing. Every week, every month, every year, there's a new technique, there's a new product line, there's a new color line. So it's always changing and you have to keep up, and that is just taking classes constantly. And there's a ton of free education on Instagram, YouTube University, Behind the Chair. You know, any hairstylist you follow now can have a subscription on their page, and you can follow to learn exactly what their techniques and how they do things. If you have a beauty supply that you go to get product, a lot of times they have educators come and do classes. There's tons and tons of information out there, and you really just have to pinpoint what exactly you want to specialize in or what you want to learn, and there is something out there for everyone. You know, a lot of times a lot of those classes are a good networking opportunity for you. So take advantage of all those classes. And maybe if you're in cosmetology school, maybe there's even discounts if you go to if you're a student, to attend some of these classes or be a model for one of these classes, and you get to sit in and kind of listen in and take notes while being a part of the class. Or if you've just freshly graduated cosmetology and you've been following a hairstylist for a long time, DM them, message them, say, hey, I just graduated cosmetology school and I love your work and I would love to assist you, whether it's 1 day a week, 2 days a week, I'll do it for free while I'm in school. You know, it's put yourself out there. Think about all the possibilities and all the opportunities that you can do while you're in school or even freshly out of school. Business classes. A lot of times when you're in cosmetology school, you do kind of touch a little bit on the business, but it's not the main focus. So again, there's a lot of online classes where you can take business courses or you can take a class at a community college and all about business and taxes and legalities and what's allowed, what's not allowed in salons and things like that. I love education. I love taking classes, and it is so important to do that in order to become a really great hairstylist. 5, learn to fight imposter syndrome. So if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's basically when you don't feel like you're good enough for something, even though you have the knowledge and education behind you to back it. So it's easier to fight it when you have followed the first couple steps of like this video, basically knowing your shit, being confident. Those can help you, but it also helps just being surrounded by other hairstylists or other people that are either on your level or even above your level, because a lot of times, like, we all end up having imposter syndrome at some point in our careers. And even people who have been in the industry for a long time, like platform artists, brand ambassadors, I'm sure that there are days when they're like, man, do I really know what I'm doing? Like this, I feel like a fraud. I feel like I shouldn't be at the level that I'm at, even though you have tons of people following you and acknowledging you and loving your work. You know, sometimes it can feel like a little overwhelming, and it's really hard to fight that urge. And I think it's just like a human thing, but surrounding yourself with people who are in the industry, even if you're like in a salon suite or a booth rent, like sometimes you are kind of on your own, but having friends in the industry that you can just like DM or message, or even now I feel like some people are posting, being more vulnerable on social media and sharing their, you know, their feelings about their work and things like that. And it helps to see that, because then you know that it's not just you that feels that way, that we all feel that way. And just because you feel like an imposter or that you're not really meant for this career, it doesn't mean that you're a bad hairstylist. Number 6, last but not least, take care of yourself. With hairstylists, there's this mentality of like, oh, I go 8 hours without eating or drinking anything, I never sit down, all these things that have been kind of toxic in the salon hairstylist industry. And I feel like we're moving towards a change. Really, it's up to you to take care of yourself. If you have a salon that's telling you to do certain things that aren't making you feel comfortable or are bad for your health, then you need to speak up and say something or leave that environment. Eating right, working out, learning how to hold your shears correctly, learning how to do a blow dry correctly, raising your chair up and down when you need to. When I would be doing hair, I'd be hunched over and I'm like, oh, I forget that I can raise the chair up. If you're cutting hair and you need to cut the perimeter, you don't have to bend over. You can squat down, or you can sit on a stool that rolls, and it's so much better for your back. Wear gloves. Or I see so many hairstylists that will not wear gloves when they are bleaching and applying color, and it is like, it may not bother you now and it may not matter now, but down the line, when you start developing allergies or developing like blisters on your hands from the chemicals that you're using all the time, you will regret that you didn't use gloves. You have to protect your hands. Those are like your money makers. And if they are hurting, if they, you know, if you have any arthritis in your hands, if you have any burns on your skin, like it's gonna make it really hard to do your job. And also just wearing the right shoes. People who wear heels behind the chair are like insane to me, because I'm like, how the hell do you do that? And how does your back not hurt? Definitely wear good shoes, like tennis shoes. I've worn nice shoes to the salon and I regretted it, because I end up getting some kind of color on it no matter what. You can wear like plastic slip-on covers on them, but I feel like that's even a hazard because you could slip on the ground. A lot of the floors in hair salons are concrete and slick, and Or, you know, even when you're cutting hair, if you don't sweep up the hair, you're gonna slip on the hair. So it's just wear something that has a grip and that's gonna be comfortable, because you're gonna be standing for very long hours and you don't want to mess up your back in the long run, and you don't want to develop all these issues down the line. Also, like, go to the chiropractor and get massages, take your breaks, eat. If one thing about me is that I'm going to eat, so I'm going to find some time to sit down and eat something. Try to schedule it in your day. If you can't, try to figure out a time when you're processing a client, like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, and go have, like, pack your lunch and eat something. If you have a really packed day, you can also just pack a ton of, like, smaller meals and smaller snacks you can eat really fast, but that's gonna fuel you for the rest of the day. Gone are the days where you have to sacrifice your health for clients or for work. You know, you really have to put yourself first in order to have a really long and successful career in the beauty industry. I hope that this video and these tips can inspire you to become a better hairstylist for your clients and for yourself. So if you enjoyed this video, then hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to see more videos, just let me know what you want to see, leave it in the comments, and I will see you next time.